it's Brooklyn and you're watching another Supernatural review, and this is season 6 episode 16, and then there were none. If you're new here, I do recap and review of every single episode of Supernatural, so let's get into it. So I kind of said like last episode was like probably the best episode of season 6, and you know I said coming up we're gonna have some bad episodes, and so I like don't remember a lot that happens in the next few episodes. Like my memory's just not clear because I don't think I've ever rewatched them. Like I don't think they were particularly good episodes. And this one kind of falls with that, where it's like, you know, as the episode starts, it like kind of like things are coming back to me. Like, oh, I kind of remember a little bit of like a hunt with all of them, not a hunt with all of them, that seems like any episode, but it's like they're in this location and they're like, who is, you know, but you don't really remember a lot of details. And I really don't think I've ever rewatched this episode before because I feel like, I feel like this is a serialized episode. I think it's debatable if it's episodic because I think it's more episodic than a lot of serialized episodes we have, and I think a lot of serialized episodes are coming up. So I think that's debatable, but I think deep down, it's more of a serialized episode, and we're just getting to a point where there's, I think, so many serialized episodes coming up, and it's hard to say it's episodic. And maybe, you know, looking back at it when we go to these next episodes, this one is gonna feel very episodic, but I really don't know. We're gonna see when we get there. Like I really don't know, but I actually felt like this episode was okay, and I don't think I put it on the worst list or anything. Like I actually was okay with it. Obviously, like very serialized, so you know, always that's not a strong point. And the grandfather is back, but he dies, and it's something where like I don't know if he didn't die, if I would still think it's okay episode. I feel like it would have been fine, but it was something where it's like that chapter closed, and I feel like it kind of closed very fast because this is someone who I feel like he's become like a big deal this season. Like he wasn't just in a couple episodes, he was in a lot of episodes, and it's hard for me to say he's like the third mainest character, but maybe he was. Like if you do the math and see who was in the most episodes this season other than Sam and Dean, like you might get him. Like I think maybe more than Cass, more than Bobby, I just feel like. So it's something where he's kind of become, you know, and thus far in the show that we're watching, and then, you know, he hasn't really been much, and then in the future he's not much. So it's something where it's just such a small part that you kind of forget it. Like, you know, you forget like, oh, the grandpa's in season 6, but when you're watching the season, you're watching all these episodes back to back, he is something that is like a big character that it kind of feels like it just happened so fast, like he's just dead and gone. And then in the end there was someone else who died this episode, Rufus, and like that seemed like a bigger death. So Rufus died, and that was like kind of sad, and it was something where this is a likable character we had in Supernatural. Like I think I even said like his first episode, I was like, Supernatural's so good at writing these like likable characters. And so it's kind of sad that they killed off Rufus. Like I don't really know the reason they did it. Like obviously with the grandfather there's a reason. Like we don't want his storyline to continue, and you know, it's something where it's like if he doesn't die now, like there's always this chance of him coming back. But Rufus is like an ally. He can come here and there, episodes here and there, like he's kind of done. So it's something where it's like, really, was there a point? And I don't know if it's because they wanted someone else to die because the grandfather died, and they can have like them being sorry or sad about the grandfather died and maybe make the stakes a little bit higher. So I don't know, but kind of sad that Rufus died. I think we do see him a couple times in the future in flashbacks or whatever it might be. But yeah, I don't really know if it was needed. The whole backstory with like Rufus was the one who actually trained Bobby feels a little bit on the nose, and I feel like you know, it just feels a little bit on the nose, but it is what it is. Yeah, it's interesting that they did this Parasite, which it's kind of like it's monster made, I guess. But we've had, obviously, well, demon possession, obviously. But we've also had ghost possession. So this type of possession we've seen it a lot. So it's kind of interesting they did a Parasite and they had that in relation to the monsters, because they still need to have monsters episode, and we have the last 2 episodes, I guess, wasn't really monsters. So they needed another episode with monsters, and I think they wanted the grandfather story to end. And so I don't think they necessarily want to rip his end, and it just kind of happened. I don't really know, but I think it was interesting a little bit that they were like, who has it, who, whatever. But that's, I think in the end it was like an okay episode, but it's super serialized. As I said, it's a serialized episode, not episodic, even though it kind of was in some ways episodic, but more serialized. It's just something that like you wouldn't just like watch out of blue or show your friends this episode. So I don't know, maybe this is my only second time ever watching the episode, but I think it's an okay episode. And as I said, I think we're getting into some bad episodes coming up, but I feel like I've been saying that a lot with this season, so maybe I'm just wrong. But thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and bye.